Hello and welcome to another wrap-up episode of Who Would Win Masters. We're going to be taking a look back over last episode, your reviews, your comments, all of that, as Ray Carcillo took on Link versus Sung Jin-Woo. Ray, you represented Sung Jin-Woo, that's right. It was interesting. Games versus anime, who knew?
I mean, let's face it, those two worlds share a lot more in common than I think a lot of people might even understand or give credit for. That's why so many games look like anime these days. And quite frankly, so many anime look like games.
That's fair. I mean, it's probably only a matter of time before a solo leveling game comes out.
It's oh no.
Is
it may
is
as
it
well
out?
Already be out.
There you go.
It may as well be.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So are we going to dive straight into the comments? Or reviews?
Well,
technically, reviews first. What are we on? Yeah.
Before we get to the comments, we got post-match thoughts. Ray Carcillo actually took us up on, do you have any final thoughts for the people? So if you would like to go ahead and hit us with that.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Ray Carcillo. That's right. This was the episode. Everybody's named Ray. I'm going to be Ray from now on, just for this wrap-up episode to make things easy. Ray Carcillo said, and this is addressed just directly to me. Is that right? It says Sam. It's real nice.
It may as well be.
All right. I think Link is the hero to overcome any and all situations. A hero of time, hero of the wild, hero of twilight, hero of the sky, hero of legend. What's Sung the hero of? I still think Link wins, but it's a great fight. Epic final boss battle for sure. Agreed. I mean, it was super hard to make these decisions. Like, you know, these are two virtually limitless characters, right? Could be
It's
gods.
True. He says, what's Sung the hero of? I don't know, the planet Earth? I mean, I don't know if that's a great argument, Ray Carcillo. But we did ask him secondarily, does he have any advice for any future debaters out there? Because coming up very, very soon, the next handful of episodes are all going to be against the people, and it's all going to be against people that have never been affiliated with the Who Would Win show in any of its incarnations before. So I thought an important question for Ray, who's now been in the judge chair as well as the host chair. What advice would you give to somebody walking in the door? So Sam, hit us with it. That's the truth. I am here to push you over. You know. That's right. You're going to have more time than I will, but I'm going to get the last word, which is often very, very important for these battles. It does undercut pretty severely. That's the truth. So I think so. Yeah, and some of these comments are definitely going to kind of get more into detail on that, and that Link does have a ton of tools at his disposal. The thing is, and I think something that really stuck with a lot of these listeners is, often you're talking about a bunch of different versions of Link that you sort of have to like tie together to like this composite Link character, which we sort of are doing and we're sort of not doing. And you really got to get on board with the idea that all these Links kind of exist on top of each other, but Sung Jin-Woo is the same guy. So he's doing all this crazy stuff, but this is just him building upon his own legend. And I think that one fact gives Sung a very big edge in this battle. Not everybody agrees, though, and we'll get to that too. Well, we got some reviews here. As always, we will read 5-star reviews if you give them to us. If you give us a 4-star or less review, I will not read it on air because I do not want it. Don't want it. Up. Sam, are the police here to arrest you? Sounds like the Nintendo police are here to try to take you away for not giving the win to Link last week. Well, that happens. That's not a surprise. If you find a Goomba in your toilet later, look, it wasn't me. But we have three new reviews, as always. I will read them. The first one is called Cartoon Duos from anyone13367. Literally could be anybody. Could be me, for all I know. But it just says, Calvin and Hobbes versus Tom and Jerry. Fun, offbeat battle. Well, anyone, maybe. I don't know, maybe. Well, that's the thing is sometimes if they have to work together to oppose that dog or something. But the other thing is, my understanding is Hobbes is not real. So it's Calvin and a stuffed animal versus two Toon Force legends. I think in my brain, Calvin would get rocked in that battle. You know, what's his name? Spiff Spaceman or something? He has his alter ego as like the Buck Rogers type hero. Maybe you could work that in. Maybe there's an argument there for Calvin that I'm just not thinking of. But, I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've read any Calvin and Hobbes. Just keep it real. Okay, read any Calvin and Hobbes that I didn't see on some random Facebook group, right? Because they love that. But it is offbeat, though. That is fun. That is something that would be pretty good. And the argument against Tom and Jerry, I think you already called it, Sam. You got to argue that they would be fighting each other and that they would be hard for them to get over because they're trying to kill each other. And then all Calvin and Hobbes have to do is just get out of the way. You know, not a bad idea right there. Okay. Didn't they just make that into a major motion picture with Zachary Levi? No, I think it was last year. Unless I'm crazy. Because I only just found out about this book last year. Yeah. Yeah. Not me. I'm an old fart. What are we talking about right now? No, I'm well past my prime, Sam. No. Oh wow, I didn't know it was that old. No, my kid brought it home from school in like kindergarten. For me, no, and to be fair, Where the Wild Things Are, have you seen these Labubus? So the Labubus, I'm convinced, are just a combination of the kid and the monster combined into one thing. It is a lot of Monchichi adjacent stuff, yeah. Look, people came here to hear us talk about Labubus, Sam. That's why people tuned into the wrap up. All Labubu talk. Look, we're trying to get our numbers up, Sam. My kid bought a Labubu and she already broke it. Labubu talk. Let's just, she broke her Labubu. That's the whole.
Are those things even move? Do they have like articulation?
There's like a piece. There's a piece on one of the. They're like stuffed animals, but they have like little plastic bits on the face and then. Yeah, but I told her don't take it to daycare. What does she do? She takes it anyway. The younger kids played with it when she wasn't there and broke a piece off of it and lost it. And she was all mad, and I'm just like, well, this is what I told you.
Yeah.
Why do you keep doing this?
Yep, they don't listen. All right. Tom Brady, is his full name Tom Brady Thumbs Down, says, love it. Everything is good, but can we get more Marvel DC crossovers? Yeah, I mean,
well, we're trying for you, Tom Brady. First off, congratulations on all the success. I'm glad you listened to the show. You know, Tom Brady and I, we have a lot in common. We're both Michigan guys,
that's right,
born of the same era, and we both have 7 NFL Super Bowl championships.
Is that accurate? It's weird. Doesn't seem.
Well, I count Madden.
Okay. Just on the system. Okay.
Yeah, Yeah.
That's fine.
My last one is a little while ago, but you know what? I'm still a legend in Madden circles in my own house.
Okay.
The answer is yes. Marvel DC crossovers are one of the most popular things in the world. We just did Spider-Man versus Blue Beetle. You know, we don't necessarily have one on the books. Yeah. Actually, we have some stuff booked, and one of them is a Marvel DC crossovers.
We do. And I feel
We're
like
gonna try to get that in.
that's such the default setting, right? Is like Marvel DC. Like there's just so many heroes in those properties. It's like we're gonna do those. It's gonna happen. You need to like be patient for 3 episodes. Try to do some interesting
comic book companies that have been around for like 85 years more.
Right. Yeah.
And they've all ripped each other off repeatedly. So it's fine.
Yeah. They'll be there.
That's why you have, Robin Hood and the Green Arrow or whatever. It's Robin Hood is the Green Arrow. And then you have Hawkeye. Fine. It's fine. Anyway, we have one more review. I love Torch It. He just absolutely loves refreshing his reviews with new stuff.
Okay.
He loves that about as much as I love winning Who Would Win battles.
Okay.
This review is just called Hello. It says, include at least one of these characters in an episode, please. Some are very strong, while some are kind of strong. Well, thank you for delineating that for me. I love Torch It. So here we go. 5 characters. Okarun. I've never heard of this person.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's an anime thing. Rimuru Tempest.
Okay.
Rimuru Tempest. I feel like I'm that Barack Obama meme where he's just shaking his head and just like putting his hands in the air.
Yep.
I do not know who these people are. That's a hard sell if I've never heard of them before. And they must be anime people because that's not my best spot. The Sentry.
Okay.
The Sentry is someone. Now, that's a very good one. We should be doing the Sentry, especially with Thunderbolts having come out. Quite realistically, we should be focused on Fantastic Four and Superman characters. Quite honestly.
We got to do the trending stuff. Sure.
Right. So 4th character is somebody called Tanjiro.
That's
Tanjiro,
definitely another
ladies
anime.
and gentlemen. There's people at home being just like, how the H does this guy not know who Tanjiro is? And I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just don't.
Tanjiro
and then finally,
is
Jeff the Land Shark.
Clearly a shark.
I don't know.
Tanjiro,
do you know who Tanjiro is?
Well, he's clearly a demon slayer who dresses like he's in Minecraft. No, I have no idea. I Googled it.
Ooh, if he was, that would be a good pick. Yeah, 5th one is Jeff the Land Shark, which is from Marvel Comics. I've heard of Jeff the Land Shark. That might be fun. But Sam, take us to the player poll, please.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked by the results that we have here. When asked who would win Link versus Sung Jin-Woo, overwhelmingly the audience voted 75% for Sung Jin-Woo. That is Ray.
As expected.
Another win on your belt.
I'm honestly a little bit scared. I was a little bit scared coming into this poll. There's a lot of Nintendo honks and a lot of anti-anime sentiment out there.
Yeah.
So I was a little concerned.
Yeah, it's hard to find a character more beloved than Link, right? So I think
very hard.
I think a lot of people it's shocking that they were able to put that aside and side with me on the vote. That's the way I voted, of course. But of course, it's not up to me. It's up to all of you. So I'm impressed. I think that's, it's a good vote. Validates both of us, so we all win.
Right.
And we should all go get cupcakes.
I thought it would be a little bit closer, but I'll take it. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did. I definitely thought there would be a lot of like, no, Ray, this and this and this don't, because he can do the time thing and whatever, it would be. And we've got a ton of comments to go through, so maybe. But I'm very shocked that this poll was as weighted as it is.
Me too. Cool. And we do have some pro Link sentiment in our comment section. So
sure.
You Link fans out there, don't be stressed. There are people that will have your backs here. But let's get right to that commentary. Why the heck not? Because we're going to open with Lord Snurts, or Snurts as he is
Snurts!
just called, but he's Lord Snurts to me, with a wonderful comment here. Link has a variety of tools and abilities. Unfortunately, these wonderful toys were just that against Jin-Woo's ridiculous anime powers. Maybe an army of Links from each game could stand a chance. But Ray was a great guest, and it was a well-fought battle, and I'll agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought Ray Carcillo brought the heat in a way that really made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. And yes, an army of Links, I think, would have a very different outcome, for sure. Even if it was just half a dozen
one
Links.
of each Link against Sung Jin-Woo, yeah, that would be...
I think that would be the difference that it needed to, to shift the tides. But yeah, can't argue with Snurts.
I can't. Well, go ahead and read the next one, because I think a certain bit is developing on this comment section now.
Well, much like I just said. Well, Ken Turner says, and I want to pause here just for dramatic effect, because Ken, right into my heart, right into my brain, Ken says, yeah, what Snurts said. So there you go.
I think we have a bit developing on Patreon.
I think so. That's fine. We'll keep it.
And that's fine. We'd love to see it. Well, I'm going to read Max the Man 1001. Max, thank you for being part of our Patreon. We appreciate you. And he has something to say here. He says, I believe Jin-Woo won this with relative ease when looking at the feats and not forgetting his army. I will say, even though I believe Jin-Woo won without a doubt, Ray Carcillo, debated beautifully. Even when I didn't believe he was ahead with his points, he made himself sound ahead with how well he spoke and displayed himself. This was a debate that sounded close, but had a clear winner. I think that's fair.
I think that's very fair. And I think Ray did a great job of, using all his time, maximizing how many points he got in on his time, and really not holding back. He did put out everything Link could do, I think, well.
Absolutely. And I agree with it. This is why I think that statement, this was a debate that sounded close but had a clear winner, is why I felt so nervous going into the final decision, but the voting ended up going the way that it did.
Yeah, for sure.
75-25 is comfortable. That's a comfortable victory in a match that never felt comfortable.
Yeah, yes, for sure. Yeah, we've said it multiple times. I'm shocked it was as weighted toward Sun's side as it was, because it felt very 50-50 up until really the very last few things, the last, your last point / counterpoint or wrap up. Yeah, it wasn't really until that. We won't have a battle this close.
Yeah. We won't have a battle this close until we do Labubu versus Manchichi. I think that's obviously coming up soon. Give me all the listens. Labubu. How many times I got to say Labubu before we get picked up by mainstream media? You know the answer to that question, Sam?
I do. A lot of Labubus. But I do think we have...
all the Labubus.
No. I think Nathan Fair may have actually given us the next closest match, possibly.
Boy, what Nathan Fair say?
Nathan says, I challenge Ray to a debate between Spyro and Megatron. First Megatron.
Nathan Fair. I know you love Spyro the Dragon. You don't want this heat.
Spirit.
You don't want this heat with Megatron. Look, I may have blown it in the previous incarnation of who would win against King Kong with Megatron, but we all agree that was a bad judgment, right? Megatron losing to King Kong, one of the all-time maybe worst decisions in who would win show history. Yeah, the argument was King Kong could throw a tree at him or something. There was no good logic happening on that day. Nathan Fair, if you really want to give it a try, you know the rules. Sam, how would he come on this show?
Yeah, you're gonna want to go over to your email there and send us, well, what do we want? A 1 minute to 3 minute video test.
1 minute's fine.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, don't go crazy. We don't want to listen that long. Let's be honest. Send us a
The
1
realistic
minute.
thing is we won't listen that long.
That's true. That's fair.
I mean,
yeah, and you can email that to whowouldwinshow@gmail.com. Yeah, just demo yourself. Make sure you're on camera. Have a good camera, a good mic. Let us know what characters you're interested in repping. Obviously, you're gonna do a teeny tiny dragon. Sure, whatever. No, that's fine.
yeah,
And,
I mean, look,
yeah.
we could put you in the conversation list at least if you go ahead and send us that demo. We don't take people sight unseen unless they've been consistently on the previous iteration of this show.
Yeah.
That's sort of just the rule. I'm sorry about that, but at the same time,
it's all right.
You know.
Yeah, you gotta have quality control.
We also have Douglas Reigert Johnson here, who says Link! Exclamation point. That's all.
I see. You're just giving yourself the short ones. Cool.
Look, I mean, look,
Hey,
I was
you know,
at
there it
Universal
is.
Studios theme park all day for Father's Day here with the family, and my voice and body are shot right now.
I hiked the sequoias 2 days ago. You ever seen General Sherman up close, the largest living thing on Earth? I did. That is a steep incline, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's the reason I don't go hiking.
Yeah.
That's the reason I don't leave the house if I can help it.
There's a warning as you go down that is like, this is a steep elevation change. There are several benches along the way. And you know what?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Not enough benches, I'm going to say.
And you do this for fun, just to be clear.
You know, I mostly to impress my wife. She does it for fun. But yeah, I got to see
impressed?
it. Yeah, I guess. It's a big tree, guys. Super big.
Big tree.
It is a big tree. It's very gigantic.
I mean, I'm
right.
not doubting the size of the tree, Sam Proof.
I mean, if you want to do an episode of General Sherman versus any other large thing, it can't do anything. It just
General
stands
Sherman,
there.
the tree, Sam. Yeah, I'll take General Sherman, the Civil War man that marched on Atlanta, who brought torches with him, and I think I'll be doing pretty good in that battle. I'm just saying.
You know, every single one of those sequoia trees, those giant redwoods, has basically some amount of fire damage, and they just continue to live on. They're
wow.
Yeah, they do really well, apparently. Anyway, let's move on. Forbidden Mob says, man, I love learning about new interesting characters on this show. I'll definitely be checking out Solo Leveling soon. Loved the episode, guys. Right. I went in pulling for Link, but by the end, Sung Jin-Woo wins with numbers. His superior time manipulation powers, the attack resistance, and portals is too much. Ray S wins, but Ray C, you did a stellar job and should be proud. This was so close. Good show, man. Yeah, I mean, he hit it right out of the park. That's absolutely accurate. Both Rays did great. And yeah, Sun's an amazing character. Like, I don't know how many times I have to say
he does a lot.
He does.
I mean, look, it's understood at this point. Forbidden Mob, this is one of my favorite comments. Absolutely love that right there. I love the fact that based on what we talked about on the show that you'd like to go check out Solo Leveling. You know, sometimes we put characters on the show not just because we think they're going to bring in big numbers. And with an anime character, you never know, even with a big popular current anime like Solo Leveling. But oftentimes there's these characters that I think people should know about. I'd like to believe at a certain point with this show, there's a certain amount of trust that gets built up. Yeah. And if I'm talking about a character, I'm putting them in front of you, it's because I'd like you to at least know who they are and maybe take a look at them, and maybe you would appreciate or understand them or even enjoy them on your own.
We're not putting on Ross from Friends. What an episode that might be.
We'd obviously do Joey. More material with the spinoff, obviously.
That's right. Put 4 episodes.
Joey versus Fraser Crane. I think we got a real battle there.
That is interesting. All right. I mean, wouldn't it be a Zach Morris kind of thing?
Is it?
I don't know.
Actually,
no, it wouldn't be Zach Morris. It would be Mario. What's his character's name? God, I can't. Mario Lopez. AJ? Is that right? God, it's been too long. I don't know.
I don't know. You're asking me. Mario Lopez on Saved by the Bell.
Oh my God.
He played a character named AC Slater. That's who he played.
Yes, AC Slater. That is right.
AC Slade. I said AJ. It was AC.
It was close. Yes,
That's
it makes
not
sense
the worst
now.
mistake in the world. Look, I didn't plan for this. I didn't know I'd be talking about Saved by the
They're
Bell
segues.
today.
They're called segues. We got to hit that 80s demographic.
I'm not great at them.
Or was that 90s? 90s demographic, I guess. All right.
Definitely a 90s demographic for sure. I'm going to do the next one. Matthew Dawson from the Multiverse. I hope you guys have been listening to those Multiverse episodes. You know, I was pushing to bring those to the Who Would Win feed, and it seems like people are responding well to it. They're doing some pretty decent numbers. We're currently on, we you know, if you haven't yet, we have the 3-hour fully composed Justice League Mortal that's up on the feed from a few weeks ago. And now we've up to episode 2. This week, we're going to air episode 3 of Nightwing Year 1, which is the Nightwing is like a new and fresh character. I am in there playing Bruce Wayne / Batman, and it's all about, you know, Nightwing's journey and becoming in his own light as a superhero. And they do a phenomenal job over there at the Multiverse audio dramas. So I have only nice things to say. Check out episode 3 later. Anyway, Matthew Dawson has this to say. This episode was the closest one yet, but I'm going to have to disagree with Sam and give it to Ray Carcillo. He had great counterpoints that can really make or break any of these arguments. Sam, you have been called out by name.
Wow. That's shocking because, you know, so many other people voted as well. So none of them got called out, just me. Not even you, I think, which is weird, but that's fine. That's, you know, I don't take that personally at all, Matthew, and it's okay. Oh, I'll be fine. I'll try, you know, guys, it's just everything's, it's so much pressure.
Guys, he's crying right now. He is literally crying. He's in tears right now.
You know,
you broke him with one comment. That's not good.
But yes, it was super close. It was a very hard decision to make. But I did, at the end of it, decide that Matthew was wrong. I went back in time, talked to myself, and I was like, before you decide on Link vs. Sung, I just want you to see this comment. And I think you understand, you and me understand the Sams, that this is wrong. And we should, you know, go with our gut.
Wait.
Which is up here now.
Are you telling me that you have like a council of Sams?
Yeah,
like
that's
Rick
right.
Rick and Morty has the council of Ricks?
That's right. Less pickles, but yeah.
This is crazy. I've learned a lot. So here's the deal. If you don't think Sam is correct, he's correct apparently in every multiverse. That could be more powerful than Ray is right. I'll be honest with you. Hashtag.
Nice. It's about time I got a hashtag. All right. Next up, Titan Force Universe says, so is this Link with every weapon from every game? He may have a chance then. No single version of Link can win. And yeah, even some sort of massive composite Link also can't win. FYI. The people have spoken.
I think he makes it close, though. I think he makes it a lot closer against Sung Jin-Woo than people give it credit for. Having done the deep dive personally, as I would say.
How many versions of Link?
I think has a better chance than your normal Link. Yeah.
How many versions of Link do you think it takes to tip the scales in this verse off? Is it 3?
I don't know how I put a number on it. Like if he had all the weapons, all the gear, and all the knowledge of every Legend of Zelda game, and was fully composite, I think he has a chance. I think he has a legitimate chance under those circumstances. I do.
Yeah.
And I would also mention at the end of the episode we just did, I was nervous. So you tell me what's up.
Yeah. I put it out to the people.
We got one more comment. Yeah, throw it out to the people. What version of Link would win?
How many Links? Yeah.
How many Bob Evans sausage links would it take?
And are they maple or just like straight sausage?
Look, if you...
I don't like that phrase.
Look, if you don't do the maple, I don't know what we're talking about right now.
That's fair.
So anyway, got one more. Here's the deal. We have we have one more review to do, and then I have something that's not on our rundown, Sam. We're going to go
Okay.
to commercial break after this review, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about stuff we've been watching. And a previous contestant is still mad about something. So we're going to get to his statements on that. We'll get to that in a second. But first off, last comment is from Ravens of Ragnarok. It says, maybe I'm missing something with Link, but I feel this wouldn't even be fair. I feel at best it would only last for a moment. Even if Link were to throw things Sung wasn't prepared for at him, could he not just enter his store and quickly find a counter? It might be weaker than his usual gear, but still powerful. There it is.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. You know, a lot of these can be, yeah. I was going to say a lot of these can be, you know, completely changed with you roll for initiative, right?
Yeah. I mean, that has a lot to do with it. Now, Sam, I feel like the people are once again kind of echoing what our thoughts are, right? We have a little bit of dissent, but overall, people really liked the battle. They liked the passion. They thought Ray Carcillo brought a lot to the table, but ultimately, I'm just too good. That's what I'm getting out of this. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, no, sure. It's that. It's not the distracting shirts. And it's really just, it's the epic debate skills. That's what, you know, because Michigan, they have a long history of debate, actually. It's a thing.
I'm sure we do. I don't know it. I think it's
you
just
do, actually.
Me. But that's a pretty long history of debate.
My father-in-law is actually part of, what was it, EMU? He was like part of their debate
Eastern
team.
Michigan
one
University,
coaches.
not far from me.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were like national debate winners. Anyway,
how about that?
So I got that somehow genetically, I guess.
That's it. No, much respect to Eastern. I believe in the beautiful city of Ypsilanti, Michigan, the city of my birth. How about that? How about that? That is correct. So let's go ahead. We're going to take a quick break right now. And then when we come back, we still have some heat that we need to address further. We'll be right back.
All right.
And we are back from our commercial break. Now we had a contestant come on. I'm going to tell you who it is. Executive VP of Who Would Win, Brent Pope, from the Spider-Man versus Blue Beetle battle. And he was giving me the riot act, saying that we threw him under the bus on the wrap-up episode of his show, and that he felt like we were being very unfair to him. And I told him, I said, you write out your thoughts, and I will read your thoughts on the next episode of the wrap-up.
Oh my God.
And we will have further conversation about this, because I feel like we were not as mean to Brent Pope, but perhaps he was a little too close to it, and he took offense by it. I'm not here to ring any bells like that. So I want to make sure we are in the air, in the clear, and we open up about it. So, Sam, I'm just going to go ahead and read this here. Let's see here. He says, look, it's fine. You know it's great when it starts with, look, it's fine. But there were so many shots about me not using all my time. And no mention that it was the first episode that we ever recorded. That's true. We aired the episode as the third episode, but it was actually the first episode that we ever recorded. That is true. And I think we did mention it on the wrap-up show, but we didn't mention it on the show itself, because how could we? We thought it was going to be the first one to air, and then it just wasn't.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
He wants like an errata.
Point out other thing. And Sam, and you and the people at home, you be judge, jury, and executioner here, because there were things that did happen that were not obvious on the show. He says, first off, the countdown timer was so loud that I couldn't hear anything at all, and it was distracting. And that is accurate. That is true. It was the first one we ever recorded. and we didn't have all our tech. We still don't have all our tech sorted, just for the record. We're trying. We're learning. We've only done a handful of these so far, and we are learning from the experience. But when we had Brent Pope on, I had that thing cranked so loud that it was distracting. And that is 100% true. So he said it was very hard to keep talking during the final countdowns and the 30 seconds remaining and all of that, which I said I would fix, but that didn't help him in the moment. And we have since gotten it better, but that's true. And he says, I also just assumed that you would have a horn go off when I finished no matter what, because the previous iteration of who would win, there was no timer holding the rounds to certain time frames.
Right.
That's accurate. That is true. We just let people go, and then eventually we'd sort of just be like, all right, it's been like 7 minutes. We need to stop talking now. No one cares anymore.
Yeah.
Here we go, though.
Is it?
Glad you all could make an example out of me over and over without reminding of the context of us working out the kinks in a pilot episode that you chose to air later. It just made me seem like kind of a dumb butt that doesn't know how clocks work. Brent Pope, I can't speak to your knowledge of how clocks work. Frankly, they're magical to me.
You know, I think there's a fair amount of millennials that don't know how clocks work.
That is correct. It is a much like handwriting. It is a lost thing.
Yeah, cursive.
Or what a C drive is. Gone. His last statement, though, I did like the discussion about my mustache. So we at least ended on a positive note.
Is that his whole thing, or he didn't want to use the rest of his time?
That's the whole thing. He did not. He had more time, but he chose not to use it. That is offensive, sir. How dare you? Look, I mean, we did bang him for not using all of his time.
It's true.
I should point out now, we've had 4 debates on this show. 3 of the people have not used all their time.
Did not use all their time.
So maybe we should have been a little bit more, what do you say, understanding, especially given it was the first ever episode. And we were, blazing him with overly loud tech sounds.
That's true. But it's not like we've made him and the lack of using his time like an ism. Like, we don't just say, well, maybe we may have once referred to it as like, oh, you just pulled a Brent Pope. But we don't often do that. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Not on camera, we don't do that.
Not. But no, he did great. I think he was a good sport for being our patsy to try this out for the first episode. And it, obviously it did have tech issues. And we welcome him back at any time, to prove that he's not a dumb butt. Is that his word? His words.
Well, his word wasn't exactly dumb butt, but I'm trying to keep the family-friendly thing up.
I see.
He used an A word instead, and I choose not to say it on this show. So, he was a good, let's say he was a good sport. He was our guinea pig. I don't know if I'd say patsy.
Definitely.
I would say guinea pig.
Guinea pig is the word I was looking for. It's late. There we go. I'm tired.
Well, I get it. It's Father's Day weekend, and me and you are both fathers who have had enough of the weekend.
Yes.
It's fair. This episode goes up in a few hours, so what the heck. The point is, Brent Pope, thank you for coming on the show. You are executive VP. We can have you back again. We would love to have you back again, and we promise we won't blast you and not tell people we were blasting you with overlap. I did forget to mention that, so that is a fair criticism.
True,
and
it's true.
Again, 3 different competitors did not use all their time. I believe Kevin Goatee and Ray Carcillo each didn't use their time fully. So it's not just you. Maybe we harped on it too much in the moment. I don't know. But that's what ended up happening. And the fact that there was still some heat there, I needed to take a moment to address it for Brent Pope's sake and for the people at home's sake. All the Rainiacs need to know I don't run from confrontation. That much is clear. I run towards confrontation, and that's why I get in trouble a lot.
Yeah.
So let's talk for a minute here before we reveal what the next episode is going to be, because we have that ready to go. That's going to
Yeah.
air a week from today, and we'll talk about that very last of all. But Sam, I've been watching some movies lately. I'll start us off here, and then we'll talk to you about kind of what you're reading, playing, watching, listening to. First off, I got into a horror movie kick from another podcast, and I'll say their name. It was A Nightmare on Film Street. I've been enjoying this podcast. I don't listen to it all the time, but I've been picking up an episode here and there, putting it in the queue, and I just listened to their back-to-back episodes about the 1980s slasher films, the Slumber Party Massacre, and the Slumber Party Massacre Part 2. And I don't know if you've watched either of these movies or recently.
I don't think so.
Okay, so the two movies from the 1980s. The first one, I believe, was a Roger Corman movie. So you're going to get everything you expect out of a Roger Corman movie. But it was also like the entire production staff was like, to my understanding, a bunch of very feminist women who were doing a genre film for Roger Corman, but injecting it with sort of those ideas. And it's one of the more fascinating genre trope things. It was a lot like Scream before Scream, but it also wasn't as like blatant and obvious about what it was doing. And it was fascinating. I thought it was a really interesting slasher film. It was definitely of its era. Everything is in there you'd expect to be. A lot of wild, kind of crazy death scenes. And it actually like had something to say about the genre of horror films, and it was very funny too. A lot of like not jokes, but very indirectly funny things that I enjoyed very much, which leads me to the second one, which is 70. Here's the deal. I didn't like the second one, but the people on this podcast I listened to liked it much better than the first. So I feel like I need to go back and watch it again. It's only 75 minutes and it's on Tubi. So it's not like it's going to be hard to get to. But this one, the killer doesn't even show up till like 55 minutes into the 75-minute runtime, except he's a rockabilly rock and roll singer with a power drill at the end of a guitar that he uses to murder a bunch of people in the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Interesting.
On paper, I should love this. I just felt it took too long to get where it was going.
So weird.
Sam, do you have a favorite slasher movie? Do you like, I know you like horror movies, right? I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here.
Yeah, no, I like it. You know, I'm not like super into horror movies. I think I was a lot more in my teens and stuff. It's been a while since I really have watched a lot, but I really was into like that early genre of like, you know, just one guy doing all the damage and, you know, your Jasons, your Mike Myers, all of that. My favorite slasher movie, I think I'm going to have to go with like Dream Warriors, like Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that might be
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a real good one.
Yeah. Like I was always a big Freddy head.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Nightmare on Elm Street fan, just as a series in general. I think it starts very strong and it ends very strong if you hold it to just kind of but the middle gets real loose.
It's a little weird.
Like the
There's some weird stuff. Yeah, for sure.
When he starts attacking people in like 8-bit graphic video games,
you
start losing me. You start losing me, baby.
They're like, what else can we do to make money? Is what it is. Yeah, I think in the horror
what else
realm,
do kids like these days?
Yeah, I'm a little more into like the zombie stuff than slasher these days. But yeah, back then it would have been Dream Warriors for sure.
That's fair. So I got one more thing to talk about, but Sam, you take the floor. What have you been watching lately? What do you want to talk about? What can you suggest?
So we actually just subscribed to Disney Plus again. So I'm catching up on some stuff there.
That?
Yeah. And my wife has been oddly sick recently. So I was trying to find stuff where I was like, she's probably not going to want to watch this. I'll watch this on my own. So I watched Skeleton Crew, which for anyone who doesn't know is a Star Wars. It's Star Wars, but it's all kids. It's like Star Wars Goonies, essentially, more or less. I don't know if you haven't seen it. They stumble upon a spaceship and accidentally activate it and blast off hyperspace into like a pirate region and don't know how the hell to get home. And then they find out that their planet at Aten is it's an urban legend. It doesn't exist in any star maps. So they go on this sort of, quest and have to find clues that get them back there. And there's a lot of, upheaval and things like that. It's really interesting. I thought it was really well done. And it's, definitely something that you can watch with kids, which, most Star Wars, I think, are. But this for sure, it's definitely got that, like Lucas Spielberg vibe, right? With like, it's a bunch of kids doing something. Ironically, my family's watching Goonies without me right now. Those sons of bitches. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done.
I never got into Goonies. I didn't like Goonies when I was a kid. It rubbed me the wrong way. I thought those kids were gross. I didn't like those kids at all as a kid myself. And I'll tell you why. Because when I was a kid, I was very much a prude. And maybe I still am. I didn't like when I was like a young kid that there would be a movie with other kids my age that were swearing and being as gross as they were being. And maybe that is a very poor look on myself as a kid. But like I didn't, it made me, it's like when you pet a cat the wrong way. It gave me the ick and I did not care for it. And maybe I would like it if I watched it now, but it probably would still give me the ick. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for the most part, it holds up. We did actually watch it a few months ago.
Yeah.
I definitely feel less good about the Corey Feldman. Not the character so much as just him and his portrayal, like his acting in that. I'm like, I feel that's a little off. Like, it's not bad. It's just like, it feels like he is putting on a little extra acting than some of the other kids. Whereas, like,
I got
Sean Astin, he nails it. He's great. He has a great monologue, and I think that's what really does it for me. Is like there's that monologue where he's at the bottom of the well, and he's like this one right here. This was my wish, my dream, and it didn't come true. Actually, is that him or is that Corey Feldman? Well, shit. Now I don't know. Sorry, excuse me, folks. But anyway, I didn't watch that recently. It's being watched without me. I did watch Skeleton Crew.
If that turns out to be Corey Feldman, you are getting called out like crazy.
Eat my shoe. It is, actually. I'm almost positive it is now that I said it. Gosh. But the rest of his acting.
You're in trouble, mister.
God, now I'm going to have to send myself back in time somehow and figure this out. The other thing we've been watching, and this I did watch with my wife, is Agatha All Along, which is kind of the WandaVision sequel.
I love that show.
So good. WandaVision was awesome, and it was very, like, so high concept, and, like, every episode kind of threw you off. And this is its own thing, does not feel like it's a spin-off. It just happens to have evolved from that. And it plays into some of the things we saw in WandaVision, but it's so good. And like the sort of meta game that they play with all thing witches just makes me want to watch it again, because I know there's things I missed. And it's like there's every possible witch reference could have been made is made, and I know it's in there. And I'm like, oh, it's a masterclass of like witch show, Oh,
100%. Yeah, I like it. It's super fun. It's super thematic. The characters are great. And there are moments that are legitimately scary in it, too, on top of all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there is some unnerving stuff that happens in that show. So you're giving me everything that I like into it. You're going to put a bunch of fun witches in there. I'm already on board for that. Putting them on a magical quest in some magical realm. It's great. I am a big fan of that show. And I do suggest people watch it, especially if they're into Marvel stuff. I don't know how it did, ratings wise, but definitely it's worth a check if you missed it the first time.
Yeah.
And that's actually going to lead me to, unless you got more you want to say there.
I was just going to say, and Catherine Hahn's she's a great actress. I love her. Go on.
Best. Absolutely. Yeah. This leads me to the other movie I just watched last night for the first time. speaking of Marvel movies, Craven the Hunter.
Okay.
I watched some Craven the Hunter last night. I watched the whole thing, I should say.
Okay.
And I knew it got bad reviews, but I liked the actors involved. And the first 10 minutes, I'm like, this is pretty good. This is pretty promising. This scene in the prison and him like doing his mission or whatever this is really fun. This is really well thought out. I like it. And then for the rest of the movie, I saw why it got bad reviews.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of contrivance and a lot of plot elements. There's a whole heck of a lot of just go with me, bro. You know, like for some reason, instead of him getting his powers from this family concoction of herbs, that's like in his special family, that's criminals, and instead it's just some random lady in off the safari path who just has a magic potion, finds his body at verge of death and gives it to him for reasons I don't fully understand, really. And then he finds her later in life he never found out who she was. So I don't know how, and he just says, well, I'm a good hunter. And I'm like, all right, I see why people aren't on board with what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And Craven, it's just one after another of just plot contrivances. And I love the character of Craven. They did some things right. Russell Crowe's in it. And you know me, I'm a huge honk for Russell Crowe in all iterations. But my goodness, the movie was like almost Madam Web in how much it was just asking me to go with without properly setting it up or giving me a reason to.
All right. Yeah, I never saw it, probably never will. Is what it is.
I need to see Morbius now.
Yeah? You're glutton for punishment? Time. Is that...
I like pain. What can I say?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what we've been watching. And that's going to be it. Sam, can you tell the people at home how to come on the show once again and give them all of our socials?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Make sure to find the Who Would Win show on all the socials. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/whowouldwinshow. And if you think you have what it takes to be a debater on the Who Would Win Master Show, record a 1-minute demo of yourself on camera with a good mic, send it in to whowouldwinshow@gmail.com, and who knows, maybe you will be in the Challenger's share the next time. For Who Would Win Masters, I'm Sam Proof. Stay strong.